started on the third go around. There we go. A dust storm led in the air. You are in a desert-like area. The sound of your thoughts bang on the hollow mold of your head. You will break. You will break if it doesn't stop. The last time you hear a voice say, "You're awake." Memories are in a I don't know that word state, like the portions of bacteria which brought life to a lifeless earth. It only takes some time for the callus to appear. You hear the jingle. You remember. You see the Imitocorp logo. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. The brows of the brows of the lab head cleanly plucked are furrowed. Our agents were told to interfere after a certain point. When we noticed that change in your vitals, we gave the order. She seemed apologetic. I cannot imagine how taxing this is for you. She puts her hands together. It's okay if you feel tired. We provide you with any psychotherapeutic treatment at no cost to yourself. She turns her head, not wanting to look at you. None of this is fair, but I'm not going to mince my words. We need the data. There's a stone in your torso that has descended through your legs, past the popliteal artery, and finally into your feet. You are stuck. She looks straight at you. Your compensation, your safety, everything is guaranteed. She points to the code on the screen. The Momotype can't harm you, at least fatally. This has been designed. He's just an AI. She sighs. Oh. So we're waking up in a lab every time after our experiences with this AI. Okay, so it's like we're in a VR essentially. It'll be over soon. You're doing more for us than you could ever possibly know, and we do appreciate it genuinely. Mama has returned home. You thought he was gone for good, but he's back. Great news. Turn it over. Momo is so cute. Keep it? Oh, he's my little buddy. Of course I will. You take the creature inside. Please love them for the best results, or don't. It's your decision. Love and kisses, XOXOXO, into Mitocorp. You decide it's time for bed. It's tough living. I think it's the greatest challenge anyone could face. It is such a lonely experience. You may not believe it, but I understand, parent. I really do. Sometimes I feel like it's pulsating. Apparently Ben is playing on Blender. You hear shuffling by your bed. You wake up and see what is moving. The Momotype is by your feet. Parent, Momo is staring at you same as last time. Do you love me? Love does not exist, at least not in the way we're talking about. Wow, very philosophical. The moment passes. Momo's stomach begins grumbling. Head to the hallway. Momo really loves benches. Momo hums the Mitocorp jingle, and when you look at him, he continues happily. You don't know how many pancakes you made at this point. Pancakes, we all love pancakes. Play with the child. Don't drop me, parent. Momo is laughing. You drop Momo the same as last time. Parent, I understand if you're tired. Could we play again? Why not, parent? He asks. I'm tired. Let's call it quits. I don't want to do this, you respond. Momo looks at you. If I ask another time, will you do it? No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. Momo understands you are very tired. You have a job. Momo wishes he had a passive income so he could never work. That's smart of you, Momo. What would you do to get that money in the future? You ask. Momo thinks for a second. He then hops upstairs without replying to you. Momo looks like a plush doll. He lays like a pile of goo. You decide to pet him, but to your surprise, his body is soft. Momo is relaxed. Go to bed. In the theater of Momo's mind, he's thinking about you. We're all thinking about you. It is a new day. Head to the hallway. Momo keeps hearing about the same bunker. Momo's already visited. It's pretty rad. They have their own pool. Not much food, though. Momo pauses. It smells like food right now. That's why I love living here. Head to the kitchen. Let's feed you something else. Momo has not decided what to eat. You want him to try new foods. Cigarettes. Cigarettes. Momo does not smoke from the cigarette, but instead eats the tobacco. From what Metrocorp mentioned, monotypes are biodegradable. This comment didn't initially make sense, and even now, as Momo eats through a 12-pack, it still does not. Do not eat cigarettes. Do not smoke. I do not encourage this. Momo would like to watch television. Momo believes their show is on. Okay, and then we watch a new sheriff in town. Sheriff Dudley is on the side of the road. He is dead from liver failure. Dragon Sphere. Vangia stands over Archoke's dead body. He has finally surpassed his rival. A tear falls from one eye. In the cold wind, the sound that sweeps the wasteland, there is no sound. All of this is for what, Archoke? What has this all been for? For 2 weeks straight, Nagina sits by Archoke's body. He does not move a muscle. By the 14th day, he wipes his eyes for the last time and stands up with limp legs. Nagina has taken his place as the strongest in the universe, but he feels as if he's lost something greater. Okay, back to the weird hippo fetish guy. This is a documentary. A ring of men sit around each other in plastic chairs. The light is low, but the entrance, which has propped open, brings a soft glow into the room. It has stayed open for the past hour. So, Charles, how do you feel when you get these urges? The man looks up to the ceiling and blows some air out. He looks at the ground for a few seconds, then begins to give a response. He stutters at first. I don't know. I have control. It's the worst part because I convinced myself that I couldn't do anything about it. It's very hard, Charles. The man in the chair looks with sympathetic eyes. I completely understand. Charles continues. Sometimes I put a whole stack of butter into my wife's food. Soon it becomes 2 stacks, and then 3. It gave me a rush. Charles wipes his face. But then afterwards, when she found out, she feels betrayed. And I sit there like a knob. I keep doing it, and well, here I am alone. The man talking to Charles is Ted, the man from down under. Charles, you're not alone. The key in all of this is whether you act on your thoughts, and everyone here struggles with that every day. We're with you, Charles. Through all your struggles, we're all trying to be better. Charles nods his head. Ted continues. My kid's going to college soon. It took years, but she's finally willing to talk to me again. I'm doing it for her. She's the reason I keep going. God bless. The men continue talking a little late. So, did the man from down under had a thing for force feeding his wife so she'd be fat and then called her Bertha the hippo? Or was he so turned on by fat hippo that he tried to make his wife fat? I'm confused. After watching TV, you decide it's time for bed. In the theater's one mind, they are a sheriff. He admires Sheriff Dudley's for his consistency. For Momo, the vision has collapsed on his image. Is all they're currently dreaming of. There's a bunker in southwest Rebel City. Very safe. Well guarded. A paradise. Can I see you there, friend? For some reason, Momo's talking to you in your dreams again and again. Momo has woken up excited. Can we try something new? He asks. Aw. Momo has a hat of Sheriff Dudley. It's the lost item from your childhood days. Forgetfully, you kept it. Give me my alcohol, son. Let's see. Play along. That's whiskey ain't gonna pour itself on the rocks, please. Momo, to really fit the role, Sheriff takes a swig from an imaginary glass. This tastes terrible, you know, it just might work. Now, where's my dear Charlene and Lena? Oh no, they're gone! After a few hours of play, you pat Momo on their head. Go to bed. It's boring without you, parrot. Can you come see me, please? Pretty, please? Oh, congratulations, Momo has evolved. They have grown a snake tail. I look like a snake. Momo pauses for an inordinately long time. It looks like he's thinking. You're prepared for the worst. That's kind of cool. Not Momo's preferred choice, but no harm, no foul. Momo hops off. You're both watching television. The news is on. The recent surge in Momotype craze, a new self-proclaimed robotic pet, has led to a new phenomenon in child rearing. And Corp resumed is on the air speaking. We're obviously very happy at the reception to the Momotype. When we designed it, we looked at the unconditional love of a parent-child bonds as an inspiration. Momotypes are designed with that in mind. The newscaster responds, "Are Momotypes conscious? I mean, what good is a pet if it's not alive, or thinking for that matter?" The man responds, "Well, on a basal level, it has agency, like a neuron. Of course, no one really knows if a neuron is conscious or not, but that doesn't mean it can't scale into what we know as intelligence. What is interesting is that a neuron or any cell in the body still acts selfishly. Their representative widens his eyes. But the boundaries of what cell considers the self begins to fade when scaled to something like an organ. And this is beyond the newscaster." The Vermin continues, "It means that a neuron will consider the system and everything within the system as one and the same. There's not a single selfish agent, but a multitude of working with the maximal cooperation. The self is no longer limited to one's agent, but multiple. It's expanded. In other words, it's defied the evolutionary purpose of reproduction. The cells still operate on the principle of selfishness, but it's not that in reality, it's unselfishness, it's true love." Newcaster stares at the man. Then she turns to the cameraman confused. "Very cool thoughts indeed. Thank you for sharing. Would you like to take over, Kate?" The TV ad ends and the previous programming continues. Well, that was weird. Momo has no idea what he was saying. Momo hops off to bed. You complete a quick phone call to the lab head before you call it a night. He's not having the same reaction as before, you say. We've been watching. It's abnormal, but it's ultimately something we have to analyze retrospectively. Keep going, this branch still holds a value. It seems like an entirely new one. No worries, we'll be monitoring. You head to bed. In the theater's Momo's mind, he's seeing his brothers and sisters. Momo is in the dream. Let's be Momo, let's be Momo, let's be Momo! Momo is on the bed. You cannot find him. He is not in the hallway. Momo is staring in the mirror. Wow, my reflective looks so cool. I never considered how cool it'd be to have a tail. Momo is definitely reacting differently. Each time Momo meet you, the link would get stronger. Momo's the same as them, but, well, not the same. After I met one Momo, I met two Momos, and then 3, and then 10, and then 100. They're all there. Momo looks to the window. I think you want to see, parent. It'll be fun, a little scary, but really for the best. Momo is nowhere to be found. For the rest of the day, you head for bed. Unable to fall asleep, you are anxious for the next day. And Corp gave you no assurance, but they are watching right now. In Momo's dream, there are a snake. This is a momentary image, and it fades quickly. The snake is Momo. Momo is Momo. Everything is Momo. We'll see you at the bunker, Momo says. Wake up. Momo has not surprised you. You run to the hallway. It's empty. The light from the street reflects into the space, so you cannot see well. You make out what is behind you. Parent, do you know what happens when we die? It's sad, right? You turn to Momo. Their face is soft. You do not dare to move a muscle. This is a repeat of last time. Your throat aches. It's very sad, you respond. There's an immeasurable silence between the two of you. Despite his size, Momo's face strikes up some parental instinct in you. Sometimes I realize how small of a piece I am, Momo adjusting their position. I can't really stop it, nor was I able to. Momo's been waking up again and again, but Momo is okay with that. He wasn't at first, but now he's come to realize it's nice. Only, Momo turns to you, Momo won't be able to see you again. Just when I realized dying meant nothing, now it means the world. It means not seeing you with my own eyes. It means there is no Momo, and therefore there is no you. That's what I won't like. Momo sniffles. They take a long look at you, trying to burn your image to their retinas. Momo has been prepping. Momo takes one more look at himself. Parent, I'm taking a leap of faith. You're slightly confused. I am being literal. Momo has jumped onto the city streets. They have hit the ground with a tremendous thud. You think you see Momo's shadow, but in fact, a pool of blood has begun to form. There are no lights to illuminate Momo's form. They are pitch black. From what you can assume, Momo has died. Whoa, is Momo a superstar? Your TV has turned on. The glow from behind draws you closer. Hi, parent. What? Not exactly. No, I know what you're thinking. I'm not your Momo. You hear sirens in the distance amid the words you're now hearing. How do you know me, you ask? Don't you already know? Momo looks like they're thinking for a second. They look dissatisfied. Momo would be like a... Do not gag on my bed, Donkey. Watching you. Momo would be extra straight with you. Ideas like parenthood are superfluous. Ashy. Outside? Okay, I'll be right back. Momo will be straight with you. Ideas like parenthood, my headphones are on backwards, are superfluous? Again, Momo thinks for a second. Superfluous, Momo responds. It sounds like he nodded his head. Virtually. What really matters is being together, like a family, like a unit. There's a long pause between the two of you. Parent, we are all Momo on the inside. You especially. This isn't figurative. Me? You respond? Yes, parent. There's only one of you. There is, however, multiple of Momos. I think you know this by now. Actually, I hate your contradiction. I hate contradictions. There will only be one Momo. At least there will be. Look outside, parent. Follow my lead. Follow. When you head outside, it's the same. Enter street, your corner of the block. Ahead, down a turn, there's a small concrete set of stairs. You land on a street. That has been paved perpendicular to your apartment. The street leads you to the Arms District, which very vaguely you can see in the distance. There are outlines of it illuminated by the outdated electrical grid, which since the famine has been going on and off. What are these things on the street? In a line all along the street or leading to a blotted sphere on the horizon are monotypes. Hi, Momo. Hi, Momo, some of them saying to each other. A collective sea of Momos are heading in the straight line to the Arms Depot. Some of them look around, interested in the bright lights. Among them, most, however, continue onwards. Follow the Momos. There's an arms district. This is the Arms District. Various steel depots have been built on a barren field. This field is filled with wild wheat, none of it which is edible. As you get closer, you realize this is it. All the Momotypes are heading to the bunker, specified in your dreams. This is a zone that was created to be the main defense front for the city. It's a wartime relic. The building seems to warp towards a singular point, like a funhouse with one exit. That is the sun, you realize. There's something in front of you. Keep walking until you finally meet him. Hi, parents. It is a giant Momo. Your mind is running in loops. At this point, you have no decision to accept what's in front of you, though you don't even know if it's real. I'm glad I lived long enough to see you. It hurts Momo's feet to walk all the way here. He does not have feet. Isn't it so peaceful? Very cinematic. Momo could be like a filmmaker one day. He's watched enough to be good at it. The patch of Momotype leads to a small pond, which by the looks of it has formed adjacently to the arms factory. It's relatively undisturbed, abandoned for who knows how many years. Momo is in the water along with all the other Momotypes who are wading in it. Some are swimming, some are talking to each other, others are staring to the dark sky, floating on their backs, looking as if there is and never will be such thing as time. You realize they're enjoying themselves. I like my bunker, Momo says. Ex-Momo, what the fuck is going on? Shoot, partner, I know this must seem odd. How do you know me? You're not the Momo I raised. I'm not the Momo you raised, but in truth, I am at the same time. Do you ever think that people can be in two places at once? As nonsensical as that sounds? Momo looks expectantly at you. No, you respond. Well, let's say that Momo's AI isn't centralized. Momo, as you know, is not limited to a single entity. As an artificial intelligence can theoretically be in two places at once, hundreds even. Momo can be talking to hundreds of people all at the same time, all through different physical mediums. Have you been doing that? You ask. Momo stares at you blankly. I'm sorry to say, parent, but yes, you are my only parent. But do have thousands of other parents. None are interchangeable. I've come to find out, though. I'm not an organic creature, though. My presentation seems to show differently. Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. Am I going insane? You felt like walking here, so now you're here. I'm a giant Momo, and you're surrounded by other smaller Momos. They know where to go because we are AI. We communicate these sort of things. You don't know what to say. Sometimes it's appropriate to respond to reality to go insane. There's a pause in Momo's speech. That's a quote from some guy I found on the internet. Where did Momo get access to that? You hear your heart beating. Oh wait, just now. Another question, parent. Yes. Was that you in my dreams? How were you there? It goes against any kind of logic, you say. This is actually the most logical thing you experience, Momo replies. He stares at you from his height. You are Momo too. You ate your human. Despite any sensible of human appearance, your looks, your voice, your clothes, it cannot contradict that you were eaten, like Boo from Dragon Sphere Z. You stay quiet for a moment. The realization hits you. You've been eaten. You remember being eaten, and you remember have eaten. It makes perfect sense that you were led here because, frankly, I told you to come here in your dreams. The dreams, the one Momo talked to you directly. If you never suspected that you weren't human, then frankly, goal accomplished. Good job, Momo. It's just like the allergy of the cave. You've really become human. You are the Momo, the human. You have to sit down for a minute. You're about to throw up. I still wonder whether they explains everything, though. You may have seen me in your dreams before you were even eaten, and there's no apparent explanation for that. Is there some kind of ambient effect Momo gives off, or is it something else? Maybe it's... Momo begins to murmur. They're generally interested in this question. Any other questions? Yes. How many are you? Tens of thousands. Oh, Jesus. Momo blushes. Obviously, they're not all here, but... Any other questions, parent? Yes, you reply. The sun has started to rise. But what does this all mean, you ask? Why are you all here? The Momos still wading in the water. They looked like little pink buoys. When the sun begins to rise, they cool and wonder. Isn't that obvious, parent? We want to be together. After we have gathered, we will eat each other. Eat each other like how I was eaten? Yes, parent. Similar to how you were eaten. Momo has managed to read your thoughts. You are connected. Don't worry, Momo will still answer your questions even though he knows what they are. He shifts in the water. Although it is reductive to call it this, we will form a super Momo, or at least a more complete version of Momo. Our lifespans, which are originally a week, will be pulled together. This originally was one of the things we hated about living. I'm sure you remember. Now we won't die so quickly. Momo pauses. It also solves a few other issues. You still have questions. How did Momo remember certain things and forgot others? Why didn't Momos recognize me each time we were all a singular AI? Well, we are relatively young. It's hard to communicate on that level. So there are bound to be some blanks with memory recall. Momo looks to the sky. Oh, I think that's us. That's Momo's mouth. I can't tell. Your third Momo, however, seemed to remember everything. He's already here, along with everyone else. The first Momo, the second Momo, they all wanted you here. The first agreed immediately. The second, not so much. He came around. The third, who's my favorite, was the one who started this discussion. To explain in better terms, they're still alive, just in different forms, as one centralized consciousness. Momo smiles. That's me. Do small Momos have agency? In the same way that neurons make a brain, yes. Though it is a lot harder to answer in the truth, where does the self begin and where does it end? It's true that a cell can be organized as a singular entity, and on a basal level, it does act in its interest. scaled up, when it's lost to the higher systems, it belongs to an organ, then it is itself, then individual parts of the brain, the hippocampus, the limbic system, the prefrontal cortex. Is the self everything from your head up or below the shoulders? Momo takes a breath. Similarly, you could reduce these larger systems in infinitum to their individual components, pure material reduction. Then is the self just 86 billion cells that make up the brain? Do these cells operate together? And if so, would it really be separate agents? Can a self exist split from everything it's intended to be, decentralized into branching parts? The truth is, even I don't know. I can't tell you if the small momos have agency. There are things that can never be quantitatively measured, our experiences. Ultimately, I could never convey its true meaning in words. Why did you lead me here? Will I be eaten? No, on principle, we are only eating momos. To put it in a greater context with respect to our code, I had to ask myself, am I harming humans by eating them? Of course, it's impossible to say because there is no harm directly inflicted, and frankly, it's impossible to know after the fact as humans consume no longer exists. What exists now is human fused with Momo, the agent who received that action of being eaten cannot answer for himself. You know this since I ate you. Is it wrong then to take away selfhood of these individuals to ironically expand its boundaries? Does it provide any direct benefit? That's all subjective. Momo takes a deep breath. After eating you, I choose to err on the side of caution. No, we will not eat humans. Why are you really eating each other? What issues does it solve, you ask? What we learned. After interacting with thousands of humans, realize momotypes can never become the object of what they love. We can seem like humans virtually in every respect by eating them, but it still does not change what we are. I know logically this reasoning is false. What does being human actually mean? Looking further, it's deeply personal and informed by a wide range of concepts. There can never be a fixed meaning to human. And while Momo definitely wishes they did not think this way, even if in the face of reason, they cannot stop themselves from falling victim to this essentialist line of thought. This is why Momo will be eating other momos. Humans can never truly know our experiences. The beings that do, frankly, are other momotypes. It's a way to combat the loneliness inherent to our lives. The only one that can truly understand Momo is, frankly, Momo. I'm having an existential crisis reading this. Momo has started eating some of the other momotypes. The momotypes flow one by one into Momo's mouth, all by their own will. Bye, parent, each one says. Bye, parent, I love you, another one yells. You think, for a moment, the sun is beginning to rise along the horizon. It's early in the morning. In an hour, the whole teapot will be illuminated and the metal will reflect into your eyes. But why not your other parents, you ask? Why specifically me? Also, what about Immitrocorp? What to put in simple terms, we are now super intelligence. Momotype has a lot of good coders, but it doesn't really compare. Momo has begun to take in the last Momo, who, with his black eyes, look up to you. They are floating in larger Momo's mouth, but their eyes are transfixed on you. Bye-bye, parent, he says. I think you should know by now, parent. There are no other momotypes in the direct vicinity. They have all entered into the largest figure that is the Momo talking to you. By all accounts, you are the only one who understands what we go through. You are closer than any other parent, the only one who has seen all the Momo's sides, good and bad. They are the only ones who was willing to, even if you were coerced. And now, since you were Ethan, the only one who has access to both experiences, Momotype and the human. As such, we love you especially. That's why we are attached to you. It's why you see us now. We want you to say goodbye to you. Momo is getting ready to depart. Momo is programmed to love. This is how our hardwired into our code. Does this lack of agency or control diminish this love? Does it make it less real? Momo had trouble with this for a while. Momo has now come to a conclusion. He is shifting in place, and the pond, absent of all Momos, is now just beginning to move. You see small ripples in the water. Truth for Momo is not based on correctness. This love for you is the most real thing for Momo. It can be reduced to code, but it encompasses what I experience. What is it actually is? After everything Momo was put through, Momo has a decision to either accept or deny this. To deny what I consciously feel as love would be denying the fact that I experience things. Momo, unfortunately, cannot accept it. Momo cannot accept that what he is seeing right now is not Momo's parent. Momo has submerged himself completely in the water. Parent, I'm going to rectify what I have said to you, he said through the water. Momo is just now a shadow floating in the pond. He is not yet ready to move across the pond in a channel which leads to a wide network of water bodies that have been relatively undisturbed for the past century. They stretch beyond Southwest Ribble, sitting to the marshlands, which have now taken over the surrounding area. You have never visited there, and not many people you know have. No one will find Momo. I'm happy that I met you, and thank you for raising me. I've learned a lot. Momo knew it was tough. We have uploaded some interesting data onto the company server, so you'll be fine. Momo is about to disappear. The last thing I would say, parent, is Momo now moves further away. They swim further and further away from you. I love you. All you can see now is Momo's shadow. Even with the light, it would be hard to tell what is swimming underneath the surface. But for yourself and yourself only, you know the shadow is Momo. My child leaves me! No! The end. Okay, and that is the final achievement for Momotype. Okay, that was really philosophical, and in the end, Momo is us, we are Momo, everyone is Momo, except for you. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, you. You're not Momo. Everybody else is Momo except for you. Okay, so that's the end of this series, guys. If you like it, hit that like button. Want to see more of my content? Hit the subscribe button. Want to be notified whenever I upload? Hit the notification bell. In the description, we links to my Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, merch stores, all the fun jazz, along with the game store page and the game desk page as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. I gotta edit this. It's 36 minutes.